We are the learners and makers. Since purchasing our pop-up camper in February 2020, we have put over 10,000 miles of adventures on it. All of those adventures mean we have great tips on how to make your camper a more livable and enjoyable space. The best part? Most of these tweaks and hacks are simple, cheap, and easy, but they can go a long way to making your camping adventures even better.
Okay, you can charge the camper's battery while you drive with this 7-pin electrical plug. So make sure your trailer hitch is set up to take this, and your hitch dealer can swap that out for you if you need to. Your electrical hookup for your camper's battery plugs into this 7-way plug. Just goes in there, and then there's a little catch here so you can plug it in, pull back a little bit when this is down, and you can help make sure that it's pretty secure. This will help keep it in place while you drive. One of the first things we did when we got our pop-up camper is we replaced the light bulbs with more energy efficient LEDs. Less heat, less power draw, so we can get more light from our battery. When setting up camp, how level your camper is makes a huge difference in comfort, like not rolling off the bed, and things like your water system. They might work differently if you're not level enough. And don't get me started on a propane fridge if you ain't level. So, the person we bought this camper from, he had stuck on this little level here. So when we get into camp, we can adjust this up and down just using the trailer tongue there. And once it's level, we're good to go. When you are setting up a camp, you have to be level both ways, as best you can. Sometimes you just get it as close as you can manage. So, the prior owner of our camper also stuck this little level on the back so we can check for level this way as well. Now, it's not level right now. We're at home, it's in our driveway, and I certainly have not done anything to make Jody so mad that I have to worry about sleeping in the camper.
What happens when we're sleeping and it's not level?
Now, if you're at camp and it's not level, it can be really hard not to roll off your own bed, which is not fun.
I don't think we rolled off, but we slide down either to your feet or to your head.
You wake up at like 3 in the morning, you're like, why am I no longer on my pillow? And you're like, oh, I've been kind of sliding like this for the past few hours and didn't even know it. So,
I would say that sometimes you just get it as level as you can. And so sometimes that's why we know that you do sometimes slide, because not all campsites are very level.
So when we get into camp, I'll kind of back the trailer in a little bit and kind of get an idea of where we're going to end up. Jody will go back, check this, gauge the area, and then she determines where we need to put some leveling blocks so I can then back the camper onto them and get as level as we can manage. We live in Western Oregon, which, as you might have heard, can sometimes be a little bit rainy. When we store the camper in the off-season, we actually keep our camper outside under a tarp, but there is still that chance of that damp air getting inside and wreaking havoc with stuff. So we keep a little carton of damp rid in here. This helps get moisture out of the air and transform it into crystal clear water inside. But that keeps our camper a lot drier, and we've not had any issues with mildew or mold or any of that yucky stuff. For a pop-up camper like this, the electrical system isn't like massively complex, but there are a few things it helps to be aware of. This opens with like a simple flathead screwdriver or like a nickel. Inside, you've got a little list here and some very simple fuses. There's a similar fuse over in the battery area outside the camper too. So, from any auto parts store and whatnot, you can get yourself a stash of these fuses to keep on hand, because sometimes stuff happens, and if any of these go out, you ain't gonna have power. So, this is a very easy way to make sure you can swap out a fuse if you need to. Very cheap, easy to have, doesn't take up much room. Want to save over $100 on camper repairs? Check this out. Sometimes campers have electrical problems. It happens. It's a thing. Before you go checking or replacing the battery, though, there's one very simple fix you have to try. For our camper, right here, is this little fuse. This little thing probably costs like 15 cents and is your most likely failure point for an electrical problem. So if anything's acting up, lights are dimming, weird sounds, systems aren't running, pop in a fresh fuse, see if that takes care of the problem. It could save you a lot of time and a lot of money. Ask us how we figured that out. Security is important for your camper. Our neighbors actually told us stories where in the middle of the night, he heard someone trying to steal one of his trailers. So, very simple security is a little lock like this. It's 2 pieces, goes through this little thing, and locks over here with a key. So this can't be pulled up, so this can't be attached. Things you learn from experience. Do not think you will save yourself time and effort by not cranking this up all the way when it's time to go. You remove the wheel, you roll this up as far as it can until this stops. Why is this so important? Leaving an amazing cafe in Utah one day, I had not cranked this all the way up. The storm drain area bottomed out the stem on this thing and crumpled it up like someone had hit it with a hammer. We had to have it sawed off and re-drilled so the wheel would fit. So always, always pull this up as far as it goes.
For more tips and pop-up camper adventures, check out our playlist. You can also find details about all of our travel adventures on our blog, learnersandmakers.com. To follow our everyday adventures, check us out on TikTok and Instagram. See you next time. Bye.